The politicians need to start working with a vision, beautiful land in Africa. Everybody knows that. The world cannot exist without Africa. You can't take it away as a reality. We are Africa. You can never take it away, that's not true. You can never take it away, that's not true. You can never take it away, that's not true. You can never take it away, that's not true. I can run the world, I see many things. I can run the world, I see many people. Everything we need is right in Africa. Everything we need is right here in Africa. Only what we need is just unity. We got all the things we need, we got great people. You can never take it away, that's the truth. We got all the things we need, we got safari in Africa. My desire, to go back to Africa. My desire, retire in Africa. My desire, live a better life in Africa. My desire, so make it in Africa. My desire, so fall back in Africa. My desire, living like king in Africa. My desire, everything within Africa. My desire, everything that we want is in Africa. I want to run the world, I see many people. I want to run the world, I see the humanity in Africa. You got the gold and diamond, everything in Africa. Got the moon and the sunshine, everything in Africa. Everything we need right in Africa. Everything you want is right in Africa. We can take it away. That's not true. You can never take it away. That's not true. My desire, is to go back to Africa. My desire, retire in Africa. My desire, live a better life in Africa. My desire, so make it in Africa. My desire, so fall back in Africa. My desire, living like king in Africa. My desire, everything within Africa. My desire, everything that we want is in Africa. Many more, many people. Hello, Biafrans. Good evening. Good evening, Biafrans. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the program. With me is Professor CHINEDU AGBODIKE, who I'll be bringing in very soon. I want to say welcome to 1st of January 2021. I'm still living in the past, but I have to upgrade. This is 1st of Friday, 1st of January 2021, and we want to welcome you to Black and White Web TV. And with me is Professor CHINEDU AGBODIKE. Professor, good evening and welcome to the program. Hello, Prof. Good evening. Yes. Thank you. Welcome to the program.
Okay.
You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to urge.
Thank you, everybody. Professor, go ahead.
Yeah, so everybody in the studio and those calling in, you are welcome to the program A New Life in 2021. Last year was 2020. It was divided between good and bad. Now this year is 2021. The good one will take 21. We'll have a better year to live on.
Thank you very much, Professor. Welcome.
You're welcome.
I want to urge our viewers to share this program. Share it while we are on Black and White Web TV, our Facebook page. We are on Black and White Web TV, our YouTube channel. We are on Ikem Patrick DK YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to those channels and be part of what we are doing so you can get notifications when we come live. But we urge you to share this program for many of you who are following and watching us. We've chosen to do this program strictly on Black and White Web TV, but the program can be shared in every other platform for those who have the access to every platform that you are connected to share this program there, and invite your friends to be part of what we are doing. Professor, welcome to a new year and a new life.
Thank you very much. Welcome, viewers.
Yes, so today we'll be talking about a lot of things. We'll be talking about many things that we have abandoned over the years, and many of our food that are going into extinct. As we all know, a lot of our herbs and many things are going into extinct, and we are talking about bringing them back again and taking them to the level where we can manufacture and give it back to the world to enjoy what we have. So, Professor, we talked about condiment, for example, which is the major topic that we'll be bringing in today. People cook with Maggi a lot, and unfortunately, our people do not know that we have our own Maggi, but because we have not developed them to the point where we can actually commercialize them, we are eating junk Maggi that is being imported from China and things that are imported, non-organic food that are being imported from overseas.
Yeah, we've been taking some poison. Maggi was actually designed for 1984 by a man called Maggi for African slaves. I'm not here to destroy the name of a company or anything, but we're talking of the content is not good for human consumption. But actually it was meant for Africans. And so we're using it. Before I can tell you to stop using a car, I must provide alternative. We decided to do research. Some of those research took us some 10, 11 years on what we had before. We had what they called OGIRI, and there are two types, which is called in English melon. The one they get from melon and the one they get from castor oil. Also, we have also developed the one you can get from oil bean seed and many other things, so that when you want to cook your soup, you don't need only one particular one. If you want to cook ogbono soup, for example, there are one for ogbono soup, which we have here, and we package it in small containers so it can last 1 year. It does not expire. It can stay up to 1 year before it expires. This is from egusi. I will eventually open it. This is from egusi. We did it in such a way it can last 1 year plus. It will not spoil. We have 18 varieties, so you can make a choice of what you really want to cook, so that you get the best. And all of them are organic, all grown here, all processed here, all packaged here, and all marketed here in BIAFRALAND. It is nothing imported, nothing artificial is inside it. They are all organic. And from day one, we started it in our farms, from our farms to collecting to processing, from processing to packaging. And we made sure that we do it scientifically. All we need now is for people to invest on it and let it become something we can use to feed the world. Maggi has only one variety, or maybe several varieties now. because they have the one they call no and the others. But look at the content, what is inside. We must know that is what we eat that eats us. And we need to do two things. Provide the food you eat. Provide the medical part of it. That is herbal mixtures or pharmaceutical. Anybody who provides what you eat holds your freedom. Your freedom becomes latent as long as you depend on somebody to feed. Because the basic thing in life is to feed yourself and to be healthy. Those are the two basic things in life that will make you happy. If you cannot feed, if you are not healthy, you are not going to survive this earth in happiness. So the two things we are facing in Foodism war is to provide enough for us to feed and make the food palatable. That's why we went into this research. That's why I went into this research, so that you can see that the food will become palatable for you to eat like any other one, so that you won't be losing the tests, test board which have been developed for years over MAGGI and other products you have been using to spice up your food. We have everything now being done in such a way that you can feed, you can get the cross from raw materials and up to finished. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. As we all know, there are some herbs that are also good for cooking. There is this herb that is a very wild herb. Growing up, anytime we come across that herb, it's always a celebration day for us. But we've not been able to domesticate them because of the level of ignorance, that have existed over the years. This herb is used for making banga soup, with a very beautiful scent and perfume, and it adds taste to soup as well. How do we return to start looking for this herb? Because I know that at this point they must have been almost extinct. How do we return back to bringing this herb, domesticating them, and making them, growing them in the size and quantity that we can now bring into commercial level? How do we go about it? Because you are on the ground. You are on the ground.
The most important thing is to rewind our mental tape. We have poverty of the mind. What we have had and followed for these 500 years is that we are nothing. Our culture is nothing. Our tradition is nothing. And so we live in foreign cultures, in foreign philosophies. Right now, we are facing the case of abandoning what is right. Our body is made up of what we eat. It's what we eat that eats us. So the Chinese man is eating what is in China. The Indian man is eating what is Indian. The American man is eating what is America. The Biafra man should eat what is in Biafra. The Ghana man should eat what is in Ghana. For him to become a Ghanaian, nature put you there to be able to eat what is there. So first thing is to rewind our mental tape, to unlearn the wrongs, and then begin to apply, begin to seek for those things that are gaining texts, and begin to plan them, and begin to see how we can preserve them, and then make use of them for us to be healthy, then export them. Because we are using the one imported from China, imported from all this country, and abandoned our own as if we are not in existence on this earth, as if we're only living. We're not on earth to live, we're on earth to be in existence, to leave something behind, to keep our generation going, to keep our culture going. Our names are even stolen from us, our languages are stolen from us, and we are becoming a nobody. We can only be second in position to anything we have abandoned and go and follow. Another man's philosophy cannot be our lives. So those are the basic things we have to find out first. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Now, if we don't teach our kids, our growing up children, these things, our culture and our language, our tradition shall be forgotten. But the most important thing is this: to unlearn the wrong. We have to return to school, rejuvenation, reorientation, backward integration, return to school of learning. Who are we? Who were we? And who are we? And who are we going to be? What am I going to leave behind? If we leave these crops to become extinct, some of them have the capacity to cure incurable diseases of the world. And so we own the world, this earth, the chance and opportunity to harness from our culture those things nature planted here. And they're all dying. And they don't even have English name because they're not from England. So I cannot mention their name in English or botanical name. They are not from botany. They are from BIAFRALAND. So they must have a name. And so I give them their name. Nkere, Ahara, Ahiamara. They are all gone. Ero, Ekuru. They are all gone. And these things, if you look at them scientifically, they contain life inside. Things that you cannot get from any other crop. Now that we are here doing this research and trying to preserve these things, we have been able to discover some impossible cures. The way people go to India, when you go to India for treatment, they use their local traditional and national things to be able to treat you. It's what they got from their culture. They got from their tradition. They used to treat you. Yet you go to India, you go to China. When you go to China, all these places, what they got from their culture, what they got from their tradition, they used to treat you. And it's their food they're going to give you. But you're carrying African blood. You're carrying African body called capital M-168 marker. They're not carrying that in their system, and that's what they used to feed you. So we need to realize that we have lost out our culture, our identity, and our tradition. We have lost out our culture, our identity, our tradition. They are not evil. It's somebody who told you, and if you depend on what you are told, then you are a slave forever. So we really have to rewind our mental tape and begin to understand that what we have lost are actually what the world needs today. And if we go back to that, we begin to see things that will shock you. Some of these sicknesses we are treating with these herbal products are impossible for the world today. And we're telling you, we are not saying that it is overdose, because it is natural. If you overdrink wine, if you overtake mango, it will purge you. Anything you overtake, your body will reject them. But when they're artificial, when you take them more than nation, your body will not reject them until you get drunk and begin to stagger on the road. These are the things we have to learn. And my 11 years of being in this research has proven that actually we have lost quite a lot. And a lot of people are into this research. I'm not the only one. There are many people into it. And they all agree with me that we have lost a lot. We don't have to keep losing. We need to start now, and go back to backward integration, return to the origin. Return to where you were, where you lost out. Today now, lifespan in Nigeria is 70, 75 years, isn't it? And basically people are dying between 45 and 50 years. That's what they are dying. And they say, the oldest people in my village now is 72 years old. While before, the oldest people were 100 and something years, 120, 130. Today, you are celebrating somebody who died at the age of 72. What made him to die at the age of 72 is because he was eating rubbish. It was what we eat that will eat you. It is not witchcraft. It's not juju. It's not that people in the village are occultic. No, everybody in the whole world is occultic. They have witches and wizards all over the world. There is no place in the world that is good or okay. The world itself lies in wickedness. So you cannot just destroy your own with your mouth. Your own is not good. Your own is not good. Your forefathers were bad. What about their forefathers? They were their forefathers, not killers and murderers of the earth. So you now really need to rewind your mental tape, and the brainwash education they gave you, which you believe in, which you live by, you really have to stop them, because we have good weather, all year round weather. There's no cold here. There's no winter here. Nothing. We have all we take, all we need there within our territory. Now, those who believe in God, let me use the word God or Shukwu. When God placed you in a particular place, there is a reason for that. Those who believe in nature, when you were placed here by ancestors, there was a reason for that. So you need to eat what your ancestors eat, or stop answering your ancestral name, and stop marrying wife of an ancestor. And you clean your blood, because your blood is made of ancestral blood. You came from the ancestors too. And one day you'll be the ancestor, and they may not welcome you because you reject to do what you're supposed to do while you were here.
Professor, thank you very much. I know it's not going to be easy for our people to, key in back to the understanding that we need to resuscitate what we have, the nature that God has given to us. It's not easy, and there is a reason why we are launching this media campaign and programs to start rewinding the mindset of our people, rewiring our thinking process, so that we'll start attaching value to what we have. Because I haven't traveled, haven't traveled wide. I've discovered that the problem we have is that we don't value what we have. And people who come from far and wide come and take those things that we don't value. and make them become something. Professor, how do we go about re-educating our people? Because I've also had interaction where you said that people are even asking you all the research you are making of what use is it. So you see that our people need a lot of education in this direction to start adding value to what nature has given to us. So how do we rewind the mindset of our people to start adding value to things that we have?
Now, as I said, there has to be one, media education. As we need to educate the people. We need to talk to the people both with music, film production, radio and television, personal visits, life examples, and practical results from researches we've done. Already, the mind has been reoriented by Western absolutists that anything Western is the best. And because of that, most people are living in colonial limbo or colonial mentality or colonial slaves. Most people are still slaves up to today, that they have made everyone, especially the Igbo speaking, to be afraid of Igbo language. I went on a seminar, asked them, let them raise up their hand. Nobody raised his hand. I said, who is in more? They said, Shuku is in more. And everybody rose their hands up. Now, it comes to the level that they have taught them that Mogoba discovered River Niger and a slave should not ask questions. Was River Niger lost? Now, what we're going to do is to rewind the mental and begin to delete through media, through radio, through television, through film, through music, because that's the style they use to brainwash man and to enslave the mind. The mind is in slavery. The modern slavery is the slavery of the mind. That these are, and then we begin to praise our forefathers who discovered scientific feats. That's what we're going to do in the musical part of Foodism War Gladiator. Any moment between now and April, we'll be producing music of praise, naming the names of our forefathers who actually achieved feats, who actually discovered television, who actually discovered remote control, who actually discovered most of the things we think we are done by the Caucasian whites, who never did anything for the earth advancement, who were able to build pyramid, who were able to travel, the Moors, who went to China. When you go to Italy, you see blacks there. Go to any part of the world, you see blacks there. Now, we need to tell them that you are somebody, because you were told you are nobody. Monge Park left Europe to come and discover a manager in BIAFRALAND. Can you imagine that? And you sang it in the school. And we need to tell them all too that black is not evil. That black has rays, just like light has rays. That black is actually life. That in the beginning, according to their Bible, it was darkness. According to their own Bible and Quran, God dwelleth in thick darkness. But then look at it from another angle. Where does a baby stay? A baby stayed into a black womb. Where do seeds that has life, any seed on this earth, where does it stay? It says inside darkness. In other words, all lives are hidden in darkness. And they told you in the beginning it was a darkness. If devil was actually darkness, so in the beginning it was a devil. So the woman having a baby is inside darkness, that baby is inside devil himself. We need to rewind their mind and tell them that darkness is actually the greatest light. Darkness is authority, light is power. All gods are dark. That's why they dwell in darkness. They don't need light. It's human being that needs light. But gods do not need light because they are dark. They are light themselves. These things have to be told. These are religion, politics. They have to retell the story again in the right way it's supposed to be done. That darkness is actually the power. It's actually the greatest authority on earth. It's called darkness. And darkness has rays. And if they want to understand this, there are 10 million colors in the world. They need to be eradicated. Out of these 10 million colors, white has 300,000 colors. Black has 10 million colors. Black has 10 million colors. Black is an absorption of all the light rays. That's the meaning of black. While white is refraction. Now, if I am a painter, I'm an artist, when I want to draw a portrait of a white man, I use 7 colors to draw that. But when I want to draw a black man, I use 13 to 14 colors. So which color makes light? Which one is closer to light? Is it the 7 colors when light has 10 million colors, or is it the 14 colors? So which one is closer to the light that is even the ray light? So the ray light is darkness. Because if you go that deep inside the ocean, you see some animals living there in darkness. And they're living well. So light is light to the level of light of those who live in that light. And there are some people that level of light is no longer light to them. So you should not assume that a particular light becomes light, more light than the other one. So if we understand that which day is religion, use politics, use education, now you have to use all those things to rewind their mental tape, to delete the wrongs and write the rights, and to unlearn the wrongs, which they have done, because this has happened for more than 500 years. So it's not a day work, it's something we must continue. Books must be written, although Africans don't read books. I've been writing books, I don't see them reading the books anyway. Then we produce film, produce music, produce everything possible as what we're doing now. With this, you will be able to get faster education because the mindset has made them to look inferior. And when a human being sees himself as inferior and the other one superior, the person that feels inferior will not be able to use the mental power he has. The mind has been polluted by Oriental absolutism. And they think that everything is absolute. And you must understand, there is nothing that is absolute without reversibility of absolutism. Nothing is absolute. Because before a standard they have, what of 10? Before the standard, for example, you call a dog, dog. Why did you call it a dog? What was the name? If the name is Nketa, why should the name become dog? Before it became dog, what was the name? In other words, before the standard they now use to brainwash out, what was in existence before the standard? If there was something in existence, did they consult me and my group before they established the standard by which they regulate me? We are being regulated by a standard which we were never consulted. Therefore, it cannot be absolute. It cannot be absolute standard. Yet we accept them as absolute. And these are imperialist absolutism based on their own cultural and environmental orientation. We have to understand that. It's not a matter of going to school. It's not a matter of speaking English. Speaking English doesn't make you educated. Going to school doesn't make you educated. When you're educated, it means you were able to understand their culture and their origin, their culture and tradition. That means you're educated. Now, if you look at the religious leaders you are thinking about, talk of the Mormons, Joseph Smith did not go to school. Talk of the Christian, Jesus Christ did not go to school. Talk of the Muslim, Muhammad did not go to school. So it's not a matter of going to school that makes you educated. What makes you educated is understanding your culture, your tradition, and who you are. These are the things we have to teach them in the school. Okay, of course, a lot of people say, hey, because you're a professor, you read wide, you're able to know. No, it's not a matter of reading wide. Somebody can go to school without the school going through him or her. In other words, going to school does not make you a scholar. It can make you educated illiterate because you are educated only in English language. If you are dropping in China, you become deaf and dumb. So you become an educated illiterate because you're limited to only one language out of 3,000 languages in the world. And by the way, we have 2,600 languages in Nigeria, in Africa. 2,600 languages in Africa. And then you think of all the things that the world had. Africa had 3/4 of the wealth in the whole world. Why not think inside and find out who you were, who you are, and then find out how to modernize yourself and identify with the global rat race of intellectualism. You are the best, and nobody is better than you, and nobody can be you. But it depends on your choice you make. Ignorance is the choice. It's something we decided to be, that we have left these areas, especially for a particular race, when actually those who started that race are you. There you are the ones. It is in your gene. It is in our marker. Go and trace the word human. Human means colored man. Are they humans? Do you know the meaning of human? Colored man. The first man on earth was taken from clay. What was the color of clay in your own Quran, in your own Bible? Why is it that when we read it, we don't even look? The Jesus Christ is called in the Bible or in the Quran, because in both sides I've read them. If you look at Revelation chapter 1, verse 14 and 15, they say Jesus Christ is called, has a dark skin color with dada hair. Now, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and the rest of them went and painted him to be a Caucasian Jesus Christ. What is the meaning of this? There are three kinds of human race. One, Caucasian, Aborigine, and Yemetic. Now, if he's from Yemetic area, which is Semitic, how come that he has a Caucasian face? These questions are not going to be asked because it's religious. Why won't you ask questions? How can you come to my home and tell me Mogoba discovered my country? How can you say Christopher Columbus discovered America? It is not so. The person who discovered America is called Amarillo, and his sculpture is in South America up to today. It's called Amarillo in Portuguese language, while actually the name is Amaroso. And when he jumped out of the water, he said, Emerigo Munka, Emerigo Munka, Emerigo Munka. Then he started giving them according to his own culture. Chicago, not Chicago. San Diego, not San Diego. Ohio, not Ohio. And these names are cultural names, but because they made you to become afraid of your culture and your tradition and your language, you are nobody. Now, nobody will tell this story the way I said it, because that's the reality. The world does not like truth. The world likes lies. If I'm lying, I'll be their best friend. But if you speak truth, they will start avoiding you, that you are possessed. Who said I'm not possessed? I'm possessed of truth. I'm possessed of the reality of what we are. We need to govern our mind. We don't need another person to take over your mind. Your mind is the only property you have on this planet. Why you're living and why you're still alive. Thank you. Yeah, moderator.
So, Prof, thank you very much. You've given us a lot of history and a lot of inspiration. We are here to talk about agriculture, basically, and for our people to really understand the need to go back to the basics. It is important that some of these histories are brought forward, because when a people lost their value, it is completely impossible to take advantage of the things around them. I talk from my experience as a traveler. I've gone to places, and I can tell you that majority of the people around the world are taking advantage of things around them, to the point that they even start modifying it and making them artificial, leaving that organic standard that nature have given us. Now, here we are in certain countries where their job is to make cheese and butter out of cow milk, Professor. And with this simple source of livelihood, they've been able to build their roads, they've been able to develop the economy, and they improve every day. But in Biafra land, we have fine milk from Efibo. And Efibo can give us very fine, beautiful butter, but because we've not given attention to some of these things, we are all moving from place to place, wandering around the world, seeking for greener pasture where there are none. While those who actually understand their environment even move as far as moving from their own environment to our own environment to take advantage of the things we have abandoned. So, Professor, we don't want to take much of our time because we'll be having a broadcast by 7 p.m. this evening by the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And by tomorrow, 7 p.m., we'll be having Engineer Innocent Nani and Engineer Fred Richard from USA to talk about other issues that's related to agriculture. Professor, we talked about the medicinal angle of agriculture. We've talked about so many angles in agriculture. But today we are talking about the condiments, so that we can even, you have shown us sample of ogiri that you made.
Yeah.
Yes, and you also said that you have made ogiri that can be used to cook stew. Can you please give us a little insight on what, that you can actually use ogiri to cook stew?
Yes, you can use this one here, which melon. This is from melon. This particular one is from melon. You can use it to cook stew. You can also use this, which is directly from castor oil, to cook stew. Why it's in this container is that we have made it to be preserved for 1 year. It can last 1 year. The last span here is 1 year. Unlike our local ogiri, which normally lasts 1 week, it will spoil. It tells you how far we have gone in trying to make it marketable. Now, you can use different varieties of our 18 sources of ogiri, which we got from different crops to be able to produce one that we can spice. So you don't use one particular one for all soups and all stews. Egusi is different, or Ogo soup is different, Abono is different, and so on and so forth, making local pronunciations of them. You know, we have different varieties of soup and stews for Banga and others. But you need a particular species or spices to be able to get the taste out and preserve the nutrients. Now, when you cook with what we have now, if you don't even put the food in the freezer or whatever, the taste or the nutrients can be conserved by this. That's the level of research we have done. I want you to know that what we are researching, we are not trying to disturb the DNA. We're not trying to adjust we try to maintain its originality. That means it's organic. That is what we have done. There are many of them, varieties of what you can use it for. But what we're telling you now, you will see that immediately you use our ogiri, or that is the local name for all of them, for the 18 species. Immediately you use it, the real taste, the real aroma will come out. Now, when you are passing on the road in those days, you perceive the aroma of food they're cooking in the house. But today it doesn't happen. The reason is because you're not spicing them up with the right thing for each soup. This is from ogiri. Normally, which is melon, it's supposed to be white, isn't it? No, because we have done a lot of processing without touching the originality, without adjusting the DNA, without adjusting the organic part of it. That's why it's dark. This is ogiri, but this one here is from egusi. Egusi is normally melon you have. So we have varieties, we can get it ourselves, but we need people who will provide us with machines. This is how we are doing it now in our kitchen. This is how we are doing it in our kitchen now. And our kitchen is, we are using only one place, our kitchen, to produce what we have. This is how we are doing it in our kitchen right now. And we need to expand it so that every state or every local government can have a processing plant of this. And then we need to plant these plants in various farms to be able to market them both nationally and internationally. In other words, now when you are eating stew, you will have the real aroma and the taste and the nutrients inside stew will be maintained by these things we are using. That is exactly the level we have gone. And I want you to understand that this is not a small boy or obese boy business. It's something we have done to accommodate any kind of research, any kind of test. Right here, we have NAFDAC approval of it. NAFDAC has approved it. Although personally, I don't know who gave NAFDAC the standard they used to approve what they cannot produce. I don't know where they got the standard, but I still have to obey the law. I gave it to NAFDAC. The researchers, I said, wow. And they gave us NAFDAC numbers, all of them. But then we need people who can invest on it and make it something marketable. I'm not trying to throw away a market like MAGGI and others out of the market, because market is competitive. You can sell what you like to the people, to the masses. But we need to go back to the origin so that we have the original taste and also the original aroma of our food we have been eating in the ancient time to maintain our original health, to maintain our original longevity so we can live longer on earth. We just can't be eating anything. Those who know the law of health, that the greatest destroyer of man's body is sugar. Sugar destroys the body more than anything. And what are we eating here? And we're using spices that are sugary into it. How do you stay alive? Those of you in medical area, you know what I'm talking about. That what we are eating in our body here are 70% sugar. And we don't have anything to counter it. But with our spices, we have even developed one from bitter leaf. We have developed some from aloe vera. So that at the end, you are balancing your sugar in the body while you're eating this food. That's the level we've gone. We are not playing obese boy here. We are here doing something that posterity, when we are no longer here, they will remember we have done something. And we need investors, we need people who will join hands to make this workable. One man equal to Onye is what I can do. I'm only one person, but then we need to expand this so that it becomes commercial and is viable in the market so we can commercialize it by quantity, by the machines. And I know the machines we need. And we know how to do it, because what we're using now is handmade and few or one or two small machines we got from China, which we can fabricate here. Of course, we can fabricate most of the machines here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. You've shown light, you've shown a lot of insight to what the potential that our people have. Somebody is asking, Philip Solarfly said, Professor, does it have preservatives?
No, no
By
preservatives.
The way, Professor, before you proceed, we have the number on the screen, and you can call in to ask questions or make inquiries. And you can, I can read out your comments also. If you have questions, drop them on the comment section, and the professor will get back to you. Philip Solarfly said, Professor, does it have preservative?
No preservatives. The lifespan months. So we expect it that the person who bought it will finish it within 1 year and 2 months. No preservatives. Preservative will make it no longer original, no longer organic, no longer natural. So no preservatives for now. But if there is need to preserve it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we may have to add preservative. But I don't advise that on this. But I'm not all knowing. But it's my advice. For now, no preservatives. What we have can last 1 year and 2 months.
So you can actually have ogiri that can last 1 year to 1 year and 2 months without even preservatives.
That is what I have in my hands now. This is 1 year and 2 months. This is 6 months old. What I have in my hands 2 months. We are doing the one. We are working on the one that can last for 2 years. We are working on that. So immediately that is over in the next 2, 3 months, we'll bring the one 2 months, 2 years. Something about this word preservative. You see, when viruses or fungi or whatever enters anything, it begins to sour. Let me tell you something, my brother. Go and get fresh tomato and blend it into puree. Then boil it so that the water will go out. And then use palm oil or granite oil and cover it. Anytime you like, scoop it, it will last 2 years. So where is the preservatives? Where are the preservatives? Sorry. Do you see what I've just told you now? It's not a simple experiment. Where is the scientific explanation? Where is the things you do? Do you know how our forefathers preserve things? Come on, we don't need this kind of big grammatic or big machines. I'm just giving you an example of non-preservative something. Go and take as much fresh tomato as you like, blend them, then cook it and dry up the water. Then use oil to cover it, either granite oil or palm oil. It will last 2 years. Nothing will happen to it because no bacteria, none of those bacteria can cross oil to enter it to spoil it. So anytime you like, scoop it and take it. Anytime you like, scoop it and take it. Keep on using it and after 2 years without preservative. If you want to know what we did, come to our labs, come to our homes, come and see how we are doing it. We don't need preservatives. And most of the things we are doing will not have preservatives. Until we now need to keep it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Then we can have preservative. But by the way, why can a product last 5 years? How does the company survive? These are things you immediately use, everyday use. So our lifespan for what we have now is 1 year and 2 months. So that's what we have for now.
Thank you very much. In fact, most of the food we eat in this part in the Western world does not even last that much. A year and 2 months, or sometimes it can last up to 1 year. Or 6 months or thereabout. There is another question for you, Professor, which Saint Celestine said, Professor, as a beginner, which part in agriculture would you advise someone to invest into now?
Right now, at this weather we have now, which is dry season, if you want to start with, when you say agriculture is ambiguous. I don't know whether you're talking about plants or animals, but let me go to plants. What I would advise you to do now is to get some bags and bags of empty rice bags or empty bags, and fill them, half of it with topsoil, half of it with pig dung, and then plant potato inside it. If you have up to 100 bags, plant potato inside it, then get your urine and dilute it after 4 days of fermentation. Dilute it with water and use the water to water the 500 bags. At the end of 4 months, you have $6,550 in your hands. That's the farm for now. Then we're talking of animal. The animal I would advise you for now, we are no longer in the season, is piggery. The biggest and fastest money yielding is piggery, followed by grass cutter, inchi. I don't know if you know about that one. Grass cutter is inchi. And then third is snail. But normally, if you want to do snaring, I will advise you to do snaring, plantain, banana, and piggery, because they help one another. They're symbiotic. They live symbiotic life. And they help to produce what they call, I'm sorry, I'm revealing a lot, natural air condition. We can have air condition in our homes without electricity. But those are the areas that plantain and banana come in so that we'll be able to achieve that. But to me, if you want to farm now, please go to Irish potato for now, if it is plant. But if it's animals, well, if you go to fishery, which will give you fish in 4 months, if you go to snaring, good. But if you want something more permanent, 6 months, 7 months, you can go to piggery, because pig will give you faster money and faster yield because of the production. Then when you talk of poultry, because there are a lot of risk in poultry, if you have not done it before, I wouldn't want, because you started and had a crash. There are a lot of heavy risk on poultry, and the risk is less on this turkey. Turkey has more resistance in this weather to stay longer than poultry. So you can start with what I've just said, but if you insist on poultry or fishery, as I told you, those have high risk of possible dying or not dying. Unless we experts come to help you, can't assist you there, which the program, my host, will tell you how we can come and assist you to make sure it is done properly. But if you want to do without even our help, what I've just told you now can give you what you need. And one thing about this product is that we buy the products from you. We buy them. So whatever you provide, buy them from you.
Thank you very much, Professor. You've had Professor giving you tips on things you can do on the immediate to earn a living. And I can tell you that a lot of people are not even making that kind of money, working in the offices or working in, working for people. So you can actually work and still, do agriculture and earn your income without, having to stress yourself more. So Professor, I've given you but there are still more training that you can take on from Professor CHINEDU AGBODIKE. But for further information, you can get in touch with us, and you'll be sponsored. It's going to be free through Oriental Origin, and the courses are being lined up for those who want to get more courses and information. You can get in touch through also the number on the screen. And also the line is open. I expect people to call in and ask questions before we round up, because we'll be rounding up any moment from now, as we're expecting to hear from the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, broadcast by 7 p.m. later in the day. So our professor is here, and Black and White Web TV is here to bring you knowledge of things that you need. We are talking about improving the standard of living of our people. We are talking about developing the agricultural sector in the eastern region, the Biafra land, and we need our people to key into this opportunity because they say opportunity come but once, and I can tell you that when you key into this opportunity, you would not have anything to regret. In fact, as we are speaking right now, we have the angle of investment where we are working on equipment procurement. procuring equipment for massive agricultural production, and you can invest your money in the direction of equipment, production. I mean, a procurement. You can invest in that angle. Is an organized cooperative system where a group of people come together, put their money together to invest in agricultural equipment, and they lease it out to farmers, and you earn income through that source. So you can actually put your money in agricultural equipment without even, doing anything. It's not like going into cryptocurrency. I've seen people say, invest in cryptocurrency, invest in Bitcoin. These are the investment you make, and you see them, they are physical, they are not investment that are virtual. We're talking about physical investment. You can feel them, you can see the tractor that you contributed, and you become a shareholder in those agricultural equipment, and you make your income on a daily basis, based on how it's been structured. So we are the opportunity, the package is there for those of you who want to put their money in agricultural equipment. The last time Professor said that the problem that we have in Biafra land right now is lack of agricultural equipment. People need those equipment to be able to go into massive farming and make food production. Professor, I know you're back. And the last time we talked about people investing in agricultural equipment. Can you give us share a little more light? Because it's good to also remind our people of our past discussions, and for those who were not here, who didn't watch the video, who were not opportune to watch the video, to see the areas of opportunity that they can actually invest in agricultural equipment and earn income from them.
Yeah, what we're doing presently, the Nigerian government or the state governments will hire at a very exorbitant price, and we have no option. In other words, they are monopolists. There is no option. We're in a place where there is no option at a given end. Monopolists dance and they do whatever they like. Now, if there is competitive markets and we're able to have these machines coming and we hire them, we rent them, then we will be able to produce cheaper, and the owners of the machine will be able to have their investments back, or they can work as partners with us. So there are a whole area. For example, Gary, last year, 2 years ago, that was 2019, when I was producing Gary, a penta of Gary was 200 naira. That was 2019. I was concentrating on Gary. In 2020, I concentrated on rice. And I left Gary. The penta of Gary last year became 800 to 1,000 naira penta from 200 naira. Now, if somebody has invested on Gary processing machine, can you imagine the profit he's going to make? Another one we're going to tell you is on palm oil processing machine. Very, very cheap. Now, a bottle of palm oil is 900 naira. A bottle of petrol, refined petroleum, as at today in Biafra land, is 150 naira. Now, actually, which one is now crude oil? So, if, for example, coconut, we're talking about processing. We're talking about processing coconut. I don't know if you want to process coconut because of its medical value and what it can do to the body. Now, if you do that, we can invest on processing of coconut, which we can use to cure diabetes. We can use some part of it for research for cancer. We have machines, a lot of machines that can be used for processing. Some of them we have to go and process them outside the country and bring them back here, which of course, if we have bought those machines, we don't need to go out and begin to buy them. So it's actually akuruno, come back home, return those your wealth, which you dash out for your family, and buy 1 or 2 machines. The biggest machines are actually $12,000. Some are $6,000, some are $4,000, some are even $2,000. But then those who have this know-how, the IQ, the know-how, the inventors come from very poor family, and they can't afford that. So you need to invest in that, in those areas, caterpillars, tractors, processing machines. You need to invest in those areas. There are some people who are living by them. So if you have one tractor, if you have one that from there, you buy another one, and we keep renting them. What we're saying, we have created markets. Now, those who are new, what I mean by creating markets is that when I return, I found out the basic problem Igbo man has or Biafra man has is land. They don't have land. So I went around for years meeting the Igbes and the leaders from Akwa Ibom, from all over, touring them. When I'm talking, some of them are listening, they will testify that I came to meet them. And I told them the importance of releasing these lands to me so that I will look for investors. Now I have those lands, which I said, if you need the land, I'll give it to you free of charge between 25 and 35 years. Then you give 25% to the owners of the community, you take 75%. Those lands now need tractors, they need caterpillars, they need machines, they need harvesting machines. Those machines are needed because we're talking of 7,000 hectares, 3,000 hectares. When I mention this hectare, do you have such land in Biafran land? Yes. In Anambra alone, talking to you now, have 15,000 hectares for farming. If you want, come, I'll give you 5,000 hectares. Come, I'll give you. Stop believing in lies told by media and Western map stories and Western papers and these people who want to destroy their nation, they want to build. Let them stop the lies. The lands are here and they're in my hands. Come, I will give it to you free of charge. Don't pay anything. Just come and take me tomorrow, Saturday, 2nd of January 2021. Come tomorrow without warning. I will go and give you land to farm on them. So if these lands are available, the lands needs to be farmed upon. How do you farm on the land? You need machines. So invest on those machines and invest on processing machine, invest planting machines, invest on harvesting machine, invest on cultivating machines, invest on them, invest on packaging machines. There are so many things you can invest upon and they make profit out of it. The business of farming is business. It is not 419, it is not give and take. It is something you put in your money, you get your result, you keep money. And through the process, our people can be fed. They don't need to depend on anybody for their feeding. We don't have food here. The food in Biafra land is from the north and from the west. Be honest to ourselves, 80% of the food the Biafra eat now is not from Biafra land. Yet they have the land. Yet have the land to farm. So why not use to get what you need? That's exactly. And the only way you use what you have to get is baby. When we are together in a vision, in a mission, and we say we want to do this thing together, place his or her own part. The leg we walk, the hand we eyes we see, the ear we listen, the mouth we talk, the nose we everything we participate in different parts of the body, and it becomes holistic. Bring your own thoughts. If you want to invest on this, let it be where you want to invest. Create a portal and we'll be able to tell you. This, my host will tell you exactly your money and how you're going to get it back and how you're going to go get your profit back and how you're going to participate. This way, you are helping the actualization of Biafra. You are not.
Yeah, I think Professor have some network issues, and when he rectifies that, he will be back. Like we said, would be okay. Prof is back. Professor, welcome back.
Well, I was talking, Seth. I didn't know it was off.
Okay. So we've talked about the mechanical, because people are asking, where do they invest right now? Where are the areas they can invest in right now? And we are telling you that you can invest in agricultural equipment. There is yes, there is a video that I played earlier on where I showed our people what areas you can actually invest on. We need areas of logistics, because when people cultivate their farm, they also need tractors. They need trucks that can move them from the farm to the market, to the central market where this thing can be sold. Now, Professor, I want us to, we played this video yesterday, and it's also important that I replay this video so that our people can understand, you know, when we talk about industrial agriculture, commercial agriculture, agricultural revolution that we seek, the vision that is behind what we are doing. that you need a lot of investment and equipment, and it is an opportunity that is open for everybody to participate. Professor, let's take a break and watch this video, how we can actually employ these machines to give us the best productivity in Biafra land.
Thank you.
So, Professor, what we see here is grass that is meant for animal feed. So you can see that even the animals too, for us to have enough protein, for us to be able to produce enough milk, because you have milk from the goat, from the sheep, from the, not just only from the cow. These animals, to give us milk and butter that we need in Biafra land, they need grass to feed on. So it is a whole lot of circle. It is a whole lot of circle that runs around together, and you need equipment to produce enough animal feed that can go around to feed our animal. This is another angle of investment as well. Professor, can you touch that angle?
Yes, we need investment on crops so that we can have all the year-round production. In animals, we need that because sometimes during the dry season, there will be no grasses for them to eat. So we don't need to move them around and graze them. We need to get these grasses stored. I would love to show you the grasses, special grass we have in Anako. We are growing for our cows. And those grasses need to be stored during this weather. And for us to do that, we need those machines to be able to, so we can have all the year round. Let me just take a little minute to tell those who are listening something that they know, and I need to emphasize on them. When any cow or goat in any part of this planet goes out, it doesn't find its way back to the farm or back to the owner. Only the Igbo goat or cow or sheep goes out and comes back to the owner. That means they have some level of intelligence that others do not have. In other words, their food, their meat, and their milk will have some level of intelligence the other ones do not have. I'm sorry, that's how I reason. That's how I reason. So all the world do not have presently what we can produce out of our own goats, out of our own sheep, and out of our own cow if you start massive production of them. The kind of cow we have here does not exist anywhere outside this place because of environmental orientation, because of its geographical location. And because of that, somebody was saying, what am I going to do with all this? What are you doing with all the ones they did you're enjoying? Somebody started from nothing to produce the computer, to produce the media, started from nothing, started from scratch, made mistakes and came up to that, than doing nothing. The greatest crime on earth is to be doing nothing when you have something to do. So can't we reason like that, that our own cheese, our own milk will be different from the one we have in the market and becomes monopolistic milk? It becomes a special dairy. Now, if you can come and witness what we're doing with our pig, I'm telling you, I'm not joking with you, you can never find that pig outside BIAFRALAND land, that type of pig. And I need somebody to come and see it practically, what our pig is doing, what our pigs are doing, what our goat will be doing in future, and what our cows will be doing in future. Then take away the meat, take away the milk, and drink it and give it to our babies. What are our babies going to be in future? That's how a scientist or somebody who is a researcher thinks, reasons. What will happen in the next 200 years? What is happening now? Where am I going to be? Where is this Biafra line going to be in the 80, 100 years when I'm no longer here? Then start something little. Think of what I have said. Only Igbo or Biafran goat, Biafran cow goes out and returns to the owner. No cow, go and check anywhere in this world. If you let a cow goes out, the Fulani cow, I'm sorry to mention the name here, they will never return to their where they came. Only our own. The only animal that return to the owner is their dogs because they sleep and pet with them. But when it comes to animal they use for feeding, they know they kill them. Our goat goes out, our cow goes out, our sheep goes out and return back to the house. So there is something special in their brain, in their body, which if our kids and ourselves are eating, our body will also be different. And the whole world will look for it very soon because it's something from genetic DNA that is not with other animals. I want you to really come back home and see what you have and make use of what you have to get what you need. The only thing that we have abandoned them for so many years that when somebody is talking about it or working on it, they say, what are you going to gain with this thing? Those things that are big came from small things. The little flood you have now came from small drop of rain. The little earth, the little house you build came small sand you molded into block. The building you're living inside came small sand you brought together and built into something. So the little things we're doing now, futuristically, is going to be something great. Let us not neglect the little things of little. Because those things of little are the things that make big things. I hope you are mindful of what the point I'm bringing out now. That we can start now to invest on our animals, invest on tractors, invest on machines, invest on those, and see our future in the next 5 years, the next 4 years. Where are we supposed to be? Where are we now? Where were we? Where did we take off? And what are we going to be in future? The future means if we come together and look inward into what we have and begin to manifest. In the 60s, the Chinese were nothing. Nobody buys anything from China in the 60s until China Mama came. People don't buy something from Japan. But today, they have become, because the Chinese were intelligent enough to send their people out to go to that country and learn and come back. Now, you have something other people in the world do not have. The only thing you can do is to work on them. Now, if you cannot work on them, if you cannot come with us, if you cannot work with us, if you cannot encourage us, keep quiet and stay at home and then be the consumer, because the earth is made of 80% consumers and 20% producers. That's what the earth is made of. And we are aware of this. We are the producers. We are ready. And we're not looking for money. We're looking for a way to make sure that Biafra stands as self-economic supremacy nation, to be able to join the global rat race.
Yeah, Professor, thank you very much. You've educated, because it's very, very important that our people understand the philosophy behind productivity, which we've lacked. Our people lack this philosophy because when you see every progressive society, there is always a philosophy built around it. And this is what we don't have. Because it is the philosophy that drives the energy into action. And then people are able to believe that, have certain way of belief, and that certain way of belief influences their attitude in doing things they do. But because we don't have this philosophy, in fact, the philosophy we are sold to are foreign philosophies that we don't have what it takes to be humans. And our people have bought into this philosophy, and here we are going astray by the day. But in this generation, I think we have the opportunity, the golden opportunity, in this era of social media and mass communication. We have the possibility to start bringing this education back to what it should be for our people. Professor, in the next few minutes, we'll be rounding up. I want to see if I can actually read out one or two comments. We have, I want to see if there are some meaningful comments that you are being applauded. Somebody is saying Innocent Oyekwasi is a brilliant one. We have series of comments here. People are saying, thank you, sir, for this idea. I love farming. I'm interested in this. I'm very, very inspired by Innocent Oyekwasi. People are appreciating you, Professor. And like I told them that you'll be our regular guest on this program because there's still a lot you can offer. And if you want a direct training with Professor CHINEDU AGBODIKE, you can contact Black and White Web TV on 349-816-2312, and we'll be able to put you through on how you can get training via Oriental Origin that is in charge, working in collaboration with Professor CHINEDU AGBODIKE to bring our people. These trainings varies. Some of the trainings are absolutely free, but the higher package have some also some incentives. So we have to make choices of what we want. Like somebody asked a question, Professor, what are the areas one can go in immediately? There are some verbal lectures you can take from Professor, but when you now have to move to the point where you have to do some practical things, and then we'll put that into consideration in terms of cost. So that will be organized through Oriental Origin in association with and in collaboration with Professor CHINEDU AGBODIKE. So the number is on the screen, and also that number is a WhatsApp number. You can also call in right now if you want to ask a direct question or you want to make a direct comment. Professor, we've seen the issue of challenges of herdsmen and things like this the past few years, and I believe that the issue of herdsmen the attention have been brought and solutions are being sought to address them. And it will be useless for us to secure empty forests that we are not even using. If we really want to, I've always said it in this program on many occasions, that we cannot be fighting for a land that we don't intend to use. I don't know if Professor is there. Yeah, I think Professor is having some technical issues. So, like I said, we can't be talking about protecting a land that we are not going to put into use. If we are going to protect our land and make sure that our land is secured, then we should be ready to put those land into use. And that is the essence of some of these programs we are bringing, so that as we secure our land, we would be able to put them into use. By the way, why was it that we had people intruding into our land? People were intruding into the land because those lands were lying shallow. Professor, you're back.
Yeah, network Nigeria.
yeah. So like I was saying, I was talking about the effort to secure our forests and our bushes. That it will be useless if we secure those land and still leave them shallow. And what was the reason, by the way, that gave the herdsmen the impetus to take over those lands? Because those lands were not being used. And as we all know, that nature abhors vacuum. If you abandon a space, somebody will occupy it. And it will not make any sense that we secure our land and still leave them shallow. And Professor, I believe that it will make more sense that our people see the need to invest into agriculture, to take over our land and make food available for our people. Professor, we'll be rounding up. We've expected calls. Nobody's calling in, but maybe I believe that a lot of people are still, with the new year hangover. So we just have to, but I think we'll be able to read out certain comments, and those comments are encouraging and appreciating. Professor, now that we are fighting to secure our land, what is your view making use of this land for agricultural purposes? Because those land have lied down shallow without being used, and it has given people opportunity to now start taking over those land.
Yeah, the lands you saw with me and BBC, if you look at it, nobody has farmed in that land for 40 years. So when I met the Igwe, I told him, for 40 years, you have not earned from this land. Now, give me the land, and I'll give you 25% of what I earn there for the next 35 years. So, because you are not sure you're going to farm the land for the next 30 years. But if I'm working on a farm with investors, the youths will not run away the next 30 years. The youths will not look to do for the next 30 years. The lands will not be occupied by those who will come and attack you for the next 30 years, because people will be farming there, the machines will be there, and all things will be there. So they have understood the message that the land we're leaving fallow is meant for camouflage. It's meant for hosts of those who do not pay for the land, who do not want to live with human beings, who will come out in the night and attack and then go back to the bushes. They're not humans. If those lands have been in use all these years, we will not even have this report of Fulani herdsmen or somebody coming to the farm to attack and then where does he go back? If he was living in the cities with us, the people, the community would have, police would have caught them, they would have known that this is the person who goes to attack somebody. But if somebody is living in the bush like an animal and comes out to attack, it's because you provided a camouflage for him. So the Igwe leaders understood the message 10, 11 years ago. And now the lands are now yielding something for the communities. And the youths are no longer going out for the cities to go and search for jobs, because they are now deployed in that land within their community. And they are now even taught how to do farming in such a way that they can commercialize it, in such a way they can even become richer than anybody who travel abroad. And these are the uses of the land. And one thing about opportunities. Opportunities you create for somebody, we give the person chances to develop. Everybody on this life, on this earth, grew because of opportunity offered. So these places we are using now offered youths a lot of opportunities in life. And because of that, they're able to take advantage and develop certain things. Some of them are able to be able to feed, some of them are able to export, some of them are able to, have something in their kitty, have something for them to pay school fees, for them to do certain things for their children and so on and so forth, to train. Some of them are able to be healthy, because I'm telling you, for the past 10 years, all those who have been working with me, none of them have had headache. 10 years, no headache. I'm not doing this to destroy pharmacists or doctors or hospitals, but we are telling you the advantage of knowledge, the advantage of using these long-time fallowed farms. Today, in the next few years, we will start having a yam balm again. And all the things we used to have, we used to start having them again and again. And we have got to the level where we don't need 200 yams to cultivate 4+ or 5+ of land. All we need is just 1 yam. We do what they call multiplicity system, the same thing with cocoyam. So with it, they are learning things they have not known before. They are learning how to farm, how to produce food in cement bags, in containers. They are learning how to produce food during the dry season. This way, they have learned something from nothing. And that is why the community are happy with us. And that's why the community need investors. That's why the community needs people who can be actually investing and working together in symbiotic system. You are getting from the community and community is getting from you. Not people who are only getting from the community without giving back the community anything. Not promisers.
Not just, Maz, it's not
political promisers.
Maz, it's not even giving back to the community, but even become a danger to the community. Because one thing is giving, not even giving back to the community, but another thing is being a danger. Because this is what we see, that we have allowed our bushes to wallow, that people who now occupy them have become a danger to us. To the community.
Yeah. And so they are not occupying where human beings live. They're occupying the fallowed land. Fallowed for 40 years. There are some community, when we get to a particular area after farming for 2-3 years, we find that there are settlements there already. And the community doesn't even know about the settlement. They don't even, people are settled there for the past 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And these people, they plan ahead of us. The enemies knows ahead of you what you are doing and where you don't even go for 40 years. So what they do now is to attack the farmers. And when they attack the farmers, we will not be buying from them because they are farming our land free and they're giving us food to eat. And we are not ashamed of ourselves. That somebody is feeding you from your farm, feeding you from your land, and attacking you so you don't come back and farm in the land. So the only option is to use natural means and fight. And that's what we are doing, and that's what we'll keep on doing until we claim all our lost land, because many of our lands have been lost, as I'm talking to you now. I don't want to be talking about that because we're not into war, but I'm telling you that many of our farmlands have been lost. And we don't know, people are already settled there for years because we didn't farm them. And some of them, there was a place I went to, I called Otata. I drove 4 hours inside the bush before I could get to that place. Luckily, I was using Pajero. So that's why I was able to drive 4 hours inside the bush. Before I could get to the farm, I drove 4 hours inside the bush. Now you can imagine the distance and who were living in those 4 hours. And when the community told me what they encountered, I was weeping. They almost wiped them out. almost wiped, and nobody knows. There was no radio, there was no television, there was no phone there. In fact, my phone went off there. This is a community, and let me mention the community so that I'm not as I called Opata community.
This
somewhere.
This Opata is under in which state is Opata, Professor?
I think it's in Enugu State, between Enugu and Anambra. Those community where they were almost wiped out. They were not wiped out by the Fulanese per se. They were wiped out by the white man who comes there to pick up gold and diamond. They wiped them out. So they remain very few. So I told them what to do. And I told them to hand over the community to me. I will take care of the remaining ones. So some community who are living far, far inside, far, far from development, they are suffering something that nobody can report in the news media. Nobody reports about that. Go and check. Does anybody in this Nigeria or in this country, in this Africa, or in the news media know what happened to Opata community? Ask them. Nobody knows.
In fact, such communities are not even in the map as we speak.
Yeah, and they come down with helicopter in the night to come and take gold, diamond, and minerals, and so, and kill these people. And then, because we didn't take, I asked them, what is their major means of income? They say farmers. They were all farmers. Then why did you stop farming? They were attacked. I'm saying this, but they can go and investigate. They can go investigate my work because I went there myself. So we don't need to follow our lands. Yeah.
So, Professor, so all we need right now is we need equipment to work those land, because it is through equipment that we're able to, open those land, plant on those land, harvest those land, and make food available. And it is born down to those in the diaspora to also key into this opportunity. So even in diaspora, you can make investment in equipment, and we are talking about little investment, forming a cooperative with other people to buy some of these equipment. So you don't necessarily have to single-handedly go buying equipment. You can join with other people, and we have already set up the structure through a company we call Oriental Origin. And for you to get in touch, you can call this number on the screen after the program. Professor, we'll be coming back next week Friday if you promise us.
All right. All is well.
Yes. So
all is well.
So next week Friday, Professor CHINEDU AGBODIKE will be here. It is our pleasure to have you, and we would like you to give us your last for today, your last closing remark for today, and greet our people until we meet again coming Friday by the grace of Chukwu Okike Abiama. Professor, go ahead.
Okay. Unlearn the wrong religious slavery, unlearn the wrong of political enslavement, unlearn the wrongs built in your subliminal consciousness that told you that you are nothing and you must depend on Oriental absolutism, or you must depend on a particular person. You must be a parasite. Unlearn that wrong, because you are something. And anybody is something. Anything is made of everything. And since you are anything, you are everything. All things are possible. For those who believe, you can anything. When I mean the word, you can, C-A-N, to can something, you can contain anything. If you put your mind there, if we all agree together to work as a team, nothing will be impossible for us. We can feed the world. We do not need to run away from Biafran land. Biafra stands, and no, Biafra will not look for your visa. You will look for Biafran visa. The reason is that we can all things. We have what it takes to feed ourselves, to heal ourselves, to take care of ourselves technologically, to take care of our... We did that from 1967 to 1970. We did not import. I'm not saying this to tell the world that they will no longer eat what they're eating from us, which is the bane of our relationship. But we're saying we can give them more. We can give them much more than they used to take from us, or use the word steal from us. We can produce more because there is endlessness to dynamism. Life is dynamic. It's not static. It's not something you say that what happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 400 years ago is still happening now. Let us reorientate our mind and stop living poverty system. Poverty has no address. It has no residential address. Only you and I can make poverty our own tenants or our landlords. And wealth also has no residential address. Only you and I can make wealth our own tenants or our own landlords. The whole thing depends on choice. And the choice you have to make based on the knowledge you are going to have. There is nothing like ignorance. Ignorance is not an excuse. Ignorance is a choice. Do not ignore your culture. Do not ignore your tradition. From where you came from, go back to the origin. Backward integration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you for coming. We hope to see you next week. And we want to say thank you to our viewers. We urge you to go and subscribe to Black and White Web TV YouTube page. Go and like our Facebook channel so that you can get alert. You can also subscribe to Patrick Ikem channel on YouTube. You can make subscription so that you can get alert. You can get notifications anytime we come on board. We are working on a series of things, and I can tell you that it is an open opportunity for everybody. It is an open opportunity for everybody. You want to make investment, let's invest in agriculture. I will never regret it. We are talking about agricultural equipment. Agriculture, very, very important. We are looking for people who are ready to put their money in agricultural equipment. For you to do that, to partner with us, to be part of this agricultural revolution, get in touch with Black and White Web TV on +39 349 816 2312. Get in touch with us and we'll tell you how you can be part of investing in agriculture. The package we have right now is the area of agricultural cultivation equipment. We are also going to create another package in the area of logistics, in the area of processing, food preservation. These are packages that are coming. But we are right now, creating a package where you can put just little money, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 with other people to get agricultural equipment that we can give out on lease to our farmers, and they will be paying those leads, and you'll be making profit. Not money you send home and people will eat those money and they flush it down the drain. We are talking about invest is not contribution. We are not talking about contributing money for people. We are talking about investing, and we are creating a cooperative of people, 10, 20 people coming together to put their money together, buy agricultural equipment, give to farmers, create jobs for our youth. This opportunity is especially for those in the diaspora to put their resources together to get equipment that can work our land and bring food to our table. My name is Ikem Patrick DK, and it's my pleasure to have you today, 1st of January 2021. In the next few minutes, the leader of our indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, will be coming live by 7 p.m. And I urge all of you to join the broadcast. It's going to be a New Year broadcast, and I tell you, it's going to be hot as well. We must also support the Eastern Security Network because they are securing the land that we are talking about. If the Eastern Security Network is securing our land and we are not making use of that land, their effort will be in vain. So let us support them to secure our land so that we'll be able to farm on those land and bring food to our table and also feed the world as well, not just we alone. Thank you for those who commented. For many of you who contributed, we want to say thank you very much. We also shared the link on Biafra Television for those who are Biafra Television. We want to say thank you for watching. I have to take my leave right now. Tomorrow we'll be coming back with Engineer Innocent Nani and Engineer Richard, Fred Richard. Engineer Richard is in the USA, and Engineer Innocent Nani is in Italy, and they'll be coming back with also power generation, how we can generate power to help in the processing, creating cottage industries, processing our food, packaging them, and sending it out there into the market. Thank you very much. Until we meet again on this episode, I want to say Welcome, thank you, and God bless you, and have a wonderful evening.